a perfect outcome to all things is assured. Yeah, a perfect outcome to all things is assured. Yeah, I'm getting stronger every day because my faith leads the way. A perfect outcome to all things is assured. In every situation, there's a blessing somewhere. Come gather, brothers and sisters, and we'll see that it is there. Ooh, I need you. You need me. Yes, you do. And that's how our happiness is guaranteed. Take it, boys.
And now, in all your doings, be you blessed. Through you is ushered in a world unseen, unheard, yet truly there. Holy are you, and in your light, the world reflects your holiness. For you are not alone and friendless. I give thanks for you and join your efforts on behalf of God, knowing that they are on my behalf as well, and for all those who walk to God with us.
Sing it with me. A perfect outcome to all things is assured. A perfect outcome to all things is assured. I'm getting stronger every day because my faith leads the way. A perfect outcome to all things is assured. A perfect outcome to all things, yeah, is assured.
Wee doggy!
Alrighty. Wee doggies is right. And with Arizona here, we'll just
Well,
give us a wee
Arizona,
doggies.
I know Arizona couldn't be here today because she's visiting her grandfather, but we can all say wee doggies together.
Wee doggies.
Wee
All my wee doggies.
doggies. Hey,
Out
Ronna. Hey, Jill. Wow, I'm so glad y'all are here today.
I know.
Wow.
Happy
this has
summer.
This has been a really wonderful, fun day, and I've really enjoyed being in the sanctuary today. There was one thing, and I'm not going to get it exactly right, but this was during the morning meditation when Susan was reading poetry, and it struck me, it really struck me, it was your thoughts are innocent steps on the journey. Now that wasn't quite exactly the entire quote, but that really impacted me. My thoughts are innocent steps along the journey. So I was like, well, that's a relief.
Yeah. All roads lead to Rome, right?
Yeah.
How scenic do you want it? Is the only ever question. Is how scenic. You know how you know like that old curse. May you live in interesting times. Right?
Yeah.
It's like it's like no. I want this to like. There's this one of my favorite mantras is triumphacam ye jamahe sugan him parski varganan urva rukabi abandonan nor mukshia mamratat.
Wow,
And
how about that?
We call that the cucumber mantra.
Yeah.
Is it says, may my lightning be as easy as it is for a cucumber to pop from the vine. Oh. May my awakening be that easy. That's how close it is. We were talking about that today. How close, all I have to do is like, what is this for? Like, what am I doing? What is this for? Again and again and again. We get better at it and things change. Things happen, right?
That's so cute. I forgot what that mantra meant. I love it. We started, long time ago, we started listening to mantras and stuff.
Ask me why I can memorize that, and ask me why that just flows out of my mouth. I don't even know.
Who knows?
This brain.
This brain is bound for glory.
know,
This brain.
Speaking of bound for glory, the lessons recently have been really good.
Very cool. Well, today's.
Well, 231 is Father, I will but remember you, because we're talking about reality, right? We've reached the top of the hill, and we are entering back into like the paradigm again without being snagged by it. And so these mantras help us be in my mind, Father, throughout the day.
That's today's, actually.
Yeah, 232.
Yeah. Be in my mind.
Be in my mind.
My Father, through the day.
Right.
And listen to this. Be in my mind, my Father, when I wake, and shine in me throughout the day today. Let every minute be a time which I dwell with you, and let me not forget my hourly thanksgiving that you have remained with me and always will be there to hear my call to you and answer me. As evening comes, which it is right now, let all my thoughts be still of you and of your love, and let me sleep sure of my safety, certain of your care, and happily aware that I am your son. Isn't that lovely? That's totally beautiful. I love that. And tomorrow's...
It's like someone standing at the end of your crib, right? And just like rocking you gently to sleep. It's like everything's already okay. Everything's okay. Everything's okay, my child. Everything's
and
already
Tina's back with us.
okay.
Hey, Tina.
Hey, Tina.
I'm so glad you're here. But I wanted to say that tomorrow's lesson is one of my favorites. It says, I give my life to God to guide today. So, of course, I had to make a song of that because you can just read it and it practically is a song. So, for your enjoyment for tomorrow,
yep.
you can
Maybe you will never hear the lesson this way again. No.
Here it goes. I give my life to God to guide today. I give my life to God to guide today. I give my life to God. Yes, I give my life to God. Yes, I give my life to God to guide today.
You can clap in there too, if you want to. Clap, 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 clap.
It's very happy and you know it.
It's very happy and you know it. So that's what we do, So that's what.
It's very fun, yeah. I always make as many things as I can into a song so I can remember.
I often used to put the lesson into, see if I could put it into the pop songs of the day, like whatever, like was the lyric of the thing, the chorus or whatever. I would try to fit the lesson into the whatever song I was listening to. See if I could do that.
That's kind of fun too. That's a good way to remember. Connie's in the room. Hey,
Connie.
Connie, we
Cool,
love
Connie,
you.
cool.
Okay, so you know what we're gonna do now? We're gonna do something.
Well, this is a very special episode of Blossom. This is very special. We're going to talk about the obstacles to peace today. Yeah. I told you last week we were going to go a little bit out of order because I wanted the love of my life to be here because you can't. I need my Vanna White, right? You need your other half. It doesn't go over well, right? Exactly. You need some girl that's going to crawl in the box to saw in half, right? It doesn't work without the girl crawling in the box, right?
Okay, I'll do that. Anyway. I know it's fake.
So I know she's in on the trick, right? She's in on the trick. I can't do this by myself. So this is the obstacles to peace. This is usually, like I say, 12.8 pages a week. Well, and I'll pick out like a couple of like 2 or 3 pages or a section, and we'll really like go at it and get the principle. Well, she does something very unusual in chapter 19. This is all big one sort of piece. Although it would be valuable to pull out what is your addiction to guilt, or to put out what does it mean in society with this obsession with death. How does that impact? We could really drill down each one of those and certainly spend an hour doing that, but I'd like to give you the obstacles to peace, all 4 of them, and be able to say this is so you can work with seeing them in your world. So as I was doing this, reworking, I tell you that story to tell you this story. While we have a little playlist, like you were saying earlier, let's see what Google has the playlist for what I've been doing. Let's see what we do. We kind of do the same thing in SoundCloud and other places. And all they played me while I worked on this for a couple of hours. I reworked and wanted to put this together in a certain way. The whole time I worked on this, it just played one Ganesha mantra after another. And if you're familiar with Ganesha, Ganesha is the remover of obstacles. And I'm literally putting the obstacles to piece together. So we had this whole like aha moment between what the word Ganesha means. Ganesha is the son of Shiva. And he's the general. He's the leader of the army of Shiva. Yeah, so that's like your attention. That's where you put your attention, and where you put your talents and where your skills, which is the army of Shiva, right? You have an army of skills and talents at your disposal that you are aware of and developed, and ones that probably you're less aware of and less knowledgeable about. Still yours, right? So this is what she's going to talk. So we are going to be looking at this the ways in which we concern our armies in matters that don't matter. In
matters that don't matter.
In ways that aren't productive. How's
right.
that? We concern our attention and we try to fix for problems instead of bringing ourselves happiness. And so these obstacles to peace, if the peace is already there, like we were saying here, the peace is there, help me to see it. Help me to see it correctly. And when I know I'm upset, I know I'm wrong, I've got something to work with. So with that being said, we started to mess around with our favorite Ganesha mantra.
And we're going to put it in the
this is our favorite new Ganesha mantra. We're going to do the sing along as a Ganesha mantra. Put the Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha Saranam Ganesha. And it's
pronounced this way. It goes Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha Sharanam Sharanam. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Sharanam Ganesha.
Gana is an army and Esha is the leader. So the leader of your army, it's your attention. Help me with my attention to see what is real so that I may do what is mine to do. Right? That's the because sharpen my vision, sharpen my discernment, Ganesha. And in the Course in Miracles, the cool thing about this, the Course in Miracles calls this function in you your commander.
Yeah.
How about that kind of oddity in the way that this has connected. The same feeling tone to it, right?
Yeah.
So with that over explaining like I love to do, let's sing with us.
Okay, so there's two parts to it. This is the part that I think you can easily sing if you'd like to try it. It's not very hard, really, once you get used to the pronunciation. But then it goes into another part that I'm going to sing by myself because it's just too much to teach you two things.
Pretty.
So let's do it up to tempo, and we'll do it a couple times so you can get
She'll do the alternate.
And I'll do the alt, yeah. Om Ganapataye Namaha Sharanam Sharanam. Om Ganapataye Namaha Sharanam Ganesha. Yay! Om Ganapataye Namaha Sharanam Sharanam. Om Ganapataye Namaha Sharanam Ganesha. Om Ganapataye Namaha Sharanam Sharanam. Om Ganapataye Namaha Sharanam Ganesha. Ganapati, Ganapati, Ganapataye, Ganapataye, Ganapati, Ganapati, Ganapati. Sharanam Ganesha. Om Ganganapataye Namaha. Sharanam, Sharanam. Om Ganganapataye Namaha. Sharanam Ganesha. Ganapati, Ganapati, Ganapataye, Ganapataye, Ganapati, Ganapati, Ganapataye, Ganapataye. Last time. Om Ganganapataye Namaha. Sharanam, Sharanam. Om Ganganapataye Namaha. Sharanam Ganesha. I just love that song.
Gonna get your elephant vibes in order.
Been singing it for 3 days.
No. You know how you get something you get something placed in your head and you have to spit it out until it stops playing? I don't know.
Yeah, and thank goodness that was a good something to get stuck in your head.
Yeah.
Right? That's why I love mantras.
It could have been Who Let the Dogs Out. That'd be a completely different experience. You know.
But that is so much. That is so why I love mantras, as I've said. Is it just gives me some place to put, keep my mind, put my mind. So I love that.
The technique that works.
Yeah.
Works.
So we're gonna ring the bell, do some
Yay.
breathing,
Next
and
time.
play a song, and then we're gonna share a whole bunch of cool stuff with you.
Can't wait to get to this lesson with
The
you.
obstacles to peace. Here we go. Woo! A day of joy, a day of wonderment, a day of awesome togetherness in community, in this wonderful co-creative circle that we create that I call the circle of love, where everything that we like is included and everything that we do not like is also included. And today we celebrate the removal to the obstacles in our lives to peace. And thank you, Ganesha, for giving us a chant to go along with it. So we release our fears, we relax, we let go, and we find out today what our obstacles to peace are and how delightful it is to be a divine expression in this human body. Blessed be, and so it is.
Why do I feel so out of place? So out of touch with the human race? I don't seem to understand why my brother won't lend a helping hand. Why do people tear apart? Ooh, my tender heart. Why does the nighttime seem so dark when the light shines inside my heart? We are angels, we are angels, and we're struggling to be human. I tell you of the things I fear. I push away, then I pull you near. I tell you of my fantasies. love the way that I speak honestly? Why is it so hard to love the one I've been dreaming of? Don't you see yourself in me? Don't you see what we can be? We are angels, we are angels, and we're struggling to be human. We are angels, we are angels, and we're struggling to be human. Time heals all pain. That's the way of the world. Time will bring us around again. Oh, that's the way of the world. We are angels, we are angels, and we're struggling to be human. We are angels, we are angels, and we're struggling to be human. We are angels, we are angels, and we're struggling to be human. La 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 la.
Those were our marriage. Those are our marriage. That's
At the
us.
very end,
That's
our
the
little
very end. That was
wedding day.
That's our wedding. That was our definitely our wedding day. That was very fun.
Oh, I'm so glad all of you are here. Thank you. George is here. Oh, thanks, Rana and Chantal. And wow, thanks. And Rhoda. Wow, so nice to have everybody.
Oh, no.
Yay. All right.
Obstacles of Peace is one of those things that is a definite staple in my repertoire. I've been perfecting and like losing. So I really appreciate your attention. This is a very very cool, and I taught it a new way this time. I want to do a little bit of preference here to say that we're going to walk through that where we are. And the hermeneutics of A Course in Miracles is in what we're speaking to is this is the point where you do have an idea about what you are to do in the world, about who you are. You've looked inside and you kind of a little surprised at kind of what the innocence and glory that you found there, and that we've begun to see that all around us is what happens in the world, right? We've been to assign that value or assign that to everyone, but the truth is we didn't get unprogrammed overnight, did we? We didn't have a realization and then everything got healed. We need to be the premise of here is to moving back into our own lives and not get snagged again by the old ways of thinking, and not get snagged into going to sleep again would be the short of it. So we're going to walk through 4 different veils of the obstacles to peace, the 4 different ways we make it difficult for ourselves to awaken, to be present, to be happy, however, whatever a grand metaphor that you'd like to employ. The obstacles to peace are just that. Our nature, like I call it, is our default setting is joy. That feeling tone is what the Course means when it says peace. The feeling tone is all possibilities are here. I could what's mine to do, and it's no obstacles, right? What if there were no obstacles? That's why the obstacles of peace are important, because these paradigms, these veils, are ways in which we trick ourselves into not pursuing our own happiness and doing something else. So let's find out what those something else is for. And I usually give you little images and images to work with. But today, I want you to think of these four wheels for veils in your own way. So I'm not going to give you images. I'm going to try to prompting images to ask you, what does this bring inside, so we can have a map in our head, map of our own psychology to say, oh, when this is happening or this is going on, I know I'm in this paradigm or that kind of paradigm. It's a way of brain mapping, a way of a technique you can use to put flat little red flags in your head, so even if you don't take action on them, you become more conscious by doing it, by becoming a commander of your own experience, of what you pay attention to and what you're going to investigate, and the commander,
Yeah, I think that's totally cool.
It's very cool.
We need the whole time to do the lesson, but I wanted to. Yeah, I wanted to say that I picked up the Tao by
of course
Regina, and number 2.
We just picked this up, so we're working with number 2 and stuff like that. So this is what played on the week we did Obstacles for Peace.
Yeah. So number 2 in Regina's book, Duality and Effortless Action, goes perfectly with this lesson.
Okay.
I'm not going to read it right now because you want to go to the lesson, but check it out because
we can read.
You want to read a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. When the whole world defines the beautiful as beautiful, other things are seen as ugly. This can be harmful. When everyone defines good as good, other things are judged as bad. This can be bad. I love that. You see, the idea of is and its opposite is not. You see, the idea of is and its opposite is not engender one another. Easy makes difficult, and difficult makes easy. Long creates short, and short creates long. Above supports below, and below supports above. Moreover, voices harmonize with tone. Leaders and followers follow each other. Therefore, sages live without controlling anything. Love that.
So
they do not teach with words. They teach through being. Because they do not dwell on accomplishments, their accomplishments endure.
And that's what it looks like to move through obstacles.
Yeah.
Because they aren't obstacles. They're only obstacles because I'm seeing them and making them real, or I'm acting on them and calling them something to deal with. And they could be dealt with a lot easier. So this is from chapter.
It's actually from chapter 20 because we did chapter 19 last time.
I think it's the opposite.
Oh, is it? Okay, maybe it is. Probably is.
Chapter 19 is the first. The first obstacle of peace, and think about this, is the desire to get rid of it. And she asked questions. The first question is what? Now, read this first, Yolanda. The question is what is
this little remnant of attack you cherish still against each other? Is the first obstacle the peace in you encounters in its going forward.
Okay, that is, we're beginning to see, I don't even know, I cherish this attack. So we're going to explore that a little bit. She gives us an idea, and she reminds us of where we are. So she talks about our purpose to orient us. So
yeah, hold on, let me put my glasses on.
We've just come out of this learning what is ours to do.
It is your purpose. You cannot choose apart from this. You have no purpose apart from your brother.
There's this unity with this part that we're trying to get to, in which we are connected. We are the oneness, and she makes a promise here.
For peace will send its messengers from you to all the world, and barriers will fall away before their coming as easily as those that you interpose will be surmounted.
Okay. Seeing correctly looks like we just bowl over stuff. Things just don't affect us, right? If you can see correctly, you know what to do. It looks to the world like you're just walking through the world and magical things are happening. That's what she's talking about.
Barriers fall away.
Barriers just fall away without you doing anything.
Right, just
you
the
don't have
noticing
to.
of
Right.
it. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
So, but she goes, this obstacle to peace hinges on this fear of joining and what we understand joining even to be. So read this quote.
Fear of joining. This feather of a wish, this tiny illusion, this microscopic remnant of the belief in sin is all that remains of what once seemed to be the world. It is no longer an unrelenting barrier to peace.
So we have that realization, don't we? We come along the spiritual path, and our orientation fundamentally changes. A feather with this tiny illusion, this microscopic remnant of the belief in sin, I'm broken and you're broken and we need to fix this idea, is all that remains of once seemed to be the world. Unhealed ideas, right?
Yeah.
And we say, oh, well, this isn't a barrier to peace. But she goes, until we understand what it actually, the motivation factor for all of this, we're going to keep falling into that. So let's look at the attraction of guilt. Now, don't get too triggered here.
Okay, before we
do, to guilt.
I just want to see how everybody's doing. If you have any questions or
so
comments, just pop in, and let us know, because we're switching back. Unmute if you want.
So
okay, so
she begins this concept. She introduces the idea of two masters, and I'll be referring to these throughout the next 30 minutes: the lover and the savage, or truth and fear, or love and fear. Those are the ways she talks about them, and the two ways in which the commander function will operate under. Ganesha, you're the commander. Us. You're going to be falling under two different masters, or two different commanders, right? Describe these.
Okay, here are the two masters. Love's messengers are gently sent and return with messages of love and gentleness.
Love those.
Yeah.
When you're in a good mood.
Very much love that. The messengers of fear are harshly ordered to seek out guilt and cherish every scrap of evil and of sin that they can find. Jeez, that is so crazy. The messengers of fear are harshly ordered to seek out guilt and cherish every scrap of evil and of sin that they can find.
You know people like this.
I know my mind does this.
Perception cannot...
My mind does this.
It does.
Oh,
so,
my God.
She says, perception cannot obey two masters, right? You cannot look to say ways. Each is asking for messengers of different things in different languages. They're of two different paradigms.
Right.
What fear would feed upon, she says, love overlooks. What fear demands, love cannot even see. What love would look upon is meaningless to fear and quite invisible. So the two worlds, two masters, paying attention to two different things, the creation and maintenance of two different things. And she gives you the key. Relationships. Relationships in this world are the result of how the world is seen. Like what you think the world is for, whether it's for love or fear, whether that's the operating principle for us. Relationships is how those things operate in spades. And she says, and this depends on which emotion was called on to send the messengers to look upon whatever it is that you want to pay attention to. Whose messengers are you sending? And return with the word of what they saw.
Yeah.
She says.
In this little section here, like I see now why what Susan read this morning really stuck with me, because that totally shows me that my thoughts are innocent,
Truly.
So I'm
So
really like,
she
yay.
describes the savage's messengers. The savage and its messengers. This is a paradigm.
So the savage is associated with fear, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about. Okay.
We can recognize this personality type in our own selves.
In our own minds.
Yeah, in our own
That's
minds.
why I was saying, like, I do that
And
to
in the
my-
world.
Yeah, and in the world,
And
yeah.
in systems.
So this savage aspect is this. They have been taught to seek for the corruptible and to return with gorges filled with things decayed and rotted.
Okay.
Man.
Right. You look for vulnerabilities in others. The savage, in order to get their way, looks for vulnerabilities in others.
And then tries to
Exploit
manipulate
them.
that. Exploit,
Okay.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. What's the lover's main tactic?
The lover, they will see only the blameless and the beautiful, the gentle and the kind. Theirs are the messages of safety, for they see the world as kind.
So change the channel. Tune into this. Tune into the lovely news soaps that are just hitting the blameless and the beautiful. You know, there you go. The gentle and the kind. You know. Join the cast of the beautiful.
The blameless and the
please
beautiful.
join the cast of the blameless and the beautiful.
I like that.
You know. So there's our messages of safety.
Mm-hmm.
Safety, even
Yeah.
even for your body, even for like
Yeah.
wanting or liking any of this stuff. It's even safety for the body, for they see the world as kind. So this first obstacle, the veil we walk through, is guilt, because well, the innocent and the guiltless.
Thanks, Rana.
Yeah. So the first veil we walk through is what of guilt, and that's really about the persona. That's about maintaining a personality in the world, so we don't feel bad about how, so to make sure that we secure our accesses to resources, that we get fed, and we get hugs, and people say hi to us in the hallway, That personality, we can make our whole lives about maintaining. We can make that, the guilt thing, the guilt aspect, I'm bad belief, I need to prove myself. We can, in a person, managing that can become your whole life, and there's a lot of juice in the world for that's all you are. So that's the first veil.
Yeah, a lot
That's
of
the first
support
veil.
for that.
So the second obstacle to peace is the belief that the body is valuable for what it offers. It's an interesting way of saying that.
It is.
The belief that the body is valuable for what it offers.
What does that mean? I mean, we're gonna.
She does a little bit of review here. She says, "For here is the attraction of guilt that's made manifest in the body." Right.
Mm-hmm.
So this is an outgrowth. This is a corollary with that first one about guilt and what we do with the body on top of this guilt idea. How does that do? This is the value that you think peace would rob you of.
Okay.
This personality and this maintenance of a body that you like or don't, or what, it's you. So she asked a question here. What is it?
Question: what has the body really given you that justifies your strange belief that in it lies salvation?
That if you had the perfect body, you'd have a good life. Right.
Do you not see that this is the belief in death? Wow.
Okay. So what has the body really given you that justifies your strange belief in it? If it didn't lies salvation, if it was performing well, or it was shaped a certain way, or behaved a certain way, colored or height or weighed or didn't weigh, whatever is going on here, that is salvation. It's a tricky thing. We'd say no, it isn't, but who wouldn't trade their body for a different body? It's hard not to say 100% sure. It's like, oh, I don't know. I'd have to think about that.
Yeah. Oh well, that's true. If it was offered, but
who
I
would,
think of it.
So it's like, how much so that is an interesting.
It is, but
Just
I
thought
want to say one
experiment.
more thing about the body, though, in relationship to this, because what has the body really given you that justifies your strange belief that in it lies salvation? We not only think of the body as this, but everything that's manifested.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
the strange belief that in the three-dimensional
material
world,
world,
in
yeah.
the material world, lies salvation.
It couldn't possibly.
This is a belief.
Of course it is,
Yeah.
because in the things in the material world have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Of course,
Right.
it's the belief in death.
Death, yeah.
Which means that this joining idea that we're so afraid of looks like murder, because we would disappear. This personality would go away.
Giving up Yolanda, giving up Glen.
And love would be fear. So read the quote.
Here's the focus of the perception of atonement as murder. Here's the source of the idea that love is fear.
Okay, so enter the two ways of seeing the world. The savage.
Right. The only messengers. It is only the messengers of fear that see the body, for they can look for what can suffer. For they look for what can suffer. Is it a sacrifice to be removed from what can suffer?
It's a way of seeing. Do you see that? To be able to looking for ways that suffer. Not me, other people, looking for ways that I'm broken, to reinforce this idea that I'm broken, or you're broken, or whatever's going on. It's not enough, something's wrong, should be changed. Certainly nothing should be as it is. Contrasting it with the lover.
The Holy Spirit does not demand you sacrifice the body's pleasure. Pain is the only sacrifice the Holy Spirit asks, and this he would remove. For you want neither to get rid of peace nor limit it.
That's a beginning to understand of what peace really has got to be. Right? You don't want to get rid of it. It's certainly not in the body. If we add the peace, it would be the release of pain. It would be the release of having to manage and this not be enough and all of it. It would be the release from that, not the doubling down on it. It seems so obvious, but this is the attraction of pain, or the management of pain. Which is Yolanda's. We were saying you can't pick up the Tao, which she was saying you can't pick up one without picking up the other. The paradigm is still there no matter what we do. So you're pursuing pleasure is pursuing pain. So she goes into talking about what we think of as ourselves and what is reality. And she calls reality, of course, spirit.
Right.
In this section, versus a body, versus a material thing. So read the quote.
Faith in the eternal is always justified, for the eternal is forever kind, infinite in its patience, and wholly loving. It will accept you wholly and give you peace. The body can bring you neither peace nor turmoil, neither joy nor pain. It is a means and not an end. It has no purpose of itself, but only what is given to it. The body will seem to be whatever is the means for reaching the goal that you assign to it.
How we can make our whole obsession about making sure that this body feels a certain way, that it doesn't ever feel this other way, right?
Oh my God.
You can make your whole personality about that.
I've
You can
spent
make other
so
personalities
much time.
about. You can make everything about hooked on a feeling.
Yeah.
Right? You hooked on a feeling? I'm in love with you.
Hooked on a feeling.
Like that's just like I gotta have her, or I will die.
Oh.
You know.
Well, thank you for having me.
So we talk about here is the attraction of pain, and so we talk about what is real versus the body. If you're going to talk about pain, we're still in this management of a body, this personality, and now we're managing a body. So
Right. Okay.
So now she calls this the home of two masters.
Yeah.
She calls this the home of two masters.
Okay.
Either we are using peace, the lover, or guilt, the savage. And both of these he calls conditions of the mind. These conditions are the home of the emotion that calls them forth, and therefore is compatible with them. It is a presence, it's a way of being, and you can call yourself on it. That's what we call our mood. It's like, what's happening? Be real. And this is the pain versus pleasure argument. It is impossible to seek for pleasure through the body and not find pain, which is the passage that you just read.
Yeah.
And so this makes, if we understand this attraction of pain, we realize very quickly that if we think we are a body, we become a servant of pain.
Yeah.
We become a servant of this up and down endocrine system. So read this part.
Well, I think we should go on to the third obstacle because we're running out of it.
Third, fourth. Okay.
Out of time. So the third obstacle is
the third obstacle.
Get ready.
Is
the attraction of death.
And and so we have the savage and the lover here again. And she wants to point out to us about this. The truth is our spirit. The truth is that we are entering, we have the personality that we think we are this endocrine system, and we think we are this body, this material object that's going to die. So we manage to be young, we manage to be funny, we manage to be pretty, or have a useful, at least a useful body, right? A big, strong, useful body. All these things we incorporate and manage and call them us, instead of turning all of this over, we said earlier, to the Holy Spirit. And all this can be managed by the incorruptible body, by your perfect body, she calls it. You have another dedication that would keep your body incorruptible and perfect for as long as it is useful to your holy purpose. See, we don't even evaluate the body we have correctly because we have the body that we need that is oddly specific for what is ours to do in the world.
Yeah.
That's how perfect this is. And this relationship with our bodies, this relationship with our personalities, this relationship with God, with everything, this web that we live in, is the force for God. The fear of death will go as its appeal is yielded to love's real attraction. Reality really is more attractive than managing your body or managing your guilt or managing your feelings. The attraction for love and who you are and the authentic expression of who you are is a much more fun journey and pleasurable than we even could possibly think about. And we were saying that the song earlier today was like your ecstasy, was the word ecstasy. So I want to give you this prayer. She says, be purpose driven in your presence. She goes, this newborn purpose you have that you found, this is mine to do in the world, this newborn sense of authenticity that is yours to bring to the world, she says is nursed by angels.
Oh, we are angels.
Right. She says that is protected by God himself. It doesn't need your protection. It's God's asking you to do this, so you don't need protection like you think you do, because you're managing for personality, managing for an endocrine system, managing for death. So whenever we lose our minds and don't know what to do, she says, say this prayer.
Here's a prayer. I'm going to put this in the chat so y'all can see it. I think you just closed it. I just closed the chat. Sorry about that. There we go.
So that's the prayer.
I'll read it. Take this from me and look upon it, judging it for me. Let me not see it as a sign of sin and death, nor use it for destruction. Teach me how not to make of it an obstacle to peace, but let you use it for me to facilitate its coming.
Right. So, the review, of course, is the first obstacle,
the desire to get rid of it. We don't want
it.
It.
Which is guilt. Right. Right. Two, what is the belief the body is valuable for what it offers, and that's the belief in pain, or the attraction to pain. Right. 3, The attraction, 3 is the attraction of death. And the appeal of death is lost forever, as the attraction for love we recognize is actually a true attraction and not a reaction. Pursuit of death in the world is just a reaction to an uncomfortable feeling that we don't know is our self and the love we seek, because we're trying to fix a personality, or we're trying to fix a body, or we're just trying to like not die. This attraction of love is very is a very serious place. But what we do when we begin to, and you will know this, what happens when we begin to pursue this new way of being, this new understanding, is we come into the final obstacle, and that is the fear of God. The fear of God is like the fear of actually being a part of reality, that you matter, that your presence and you're necessary in the mind of God. Of course, Miracles also says that. And we all are, and that this is the place to be, here and now. Walking away from that, walking away or not doing that becomes more and more difficult because it's less and less satisfying. Like Adyashanti says, I'm not going to help you speculate about the future. I don't want to leave now. I don't want to leave this moment.
Yeah.
So this is the attraction of love. This desire to be present is the attraction of love, which is who we are. And she says, from beyond each of the obstacles to love, love itself has called. Each obstacle has been surmounted by the power of love's attraction. Your wanting fear seems to be holding them in place. That's all it ever is, right? Yet when you heard the voice of love beyond them, you answered and they disappeared. And she calls this a song. Is what she calls this, a song. And this idea is, in the Course in Miracles, is called the final veil, the lifting of the veil, in which we lift the veil of our bodies, we lift the veil of our personalities, we lift the veil of the coming and going of the world and its changing form. And what do we encounter? Us. Real reality. And she says this about the guide within. The guide who brought you here remains with you here. When you raise your eyes, you will be ready to look on the terror with no fear at all. You're not alone and friendless. That's right. The discovery, which is like, oh my God. And we can forgive our illusions. She says this.
But first, lift up your eyes and look on one another in innocence, born of complete forgiveness of each other's illusions.
Because if you know this has happened for you, you know you understand it. You go, I know how to act in the world, and that is my oneness, and reflect that. She calls in the Course, this is called the final joining. Now we're going to do this again and again and again because we're going to keep being snagged by these veils. We really are. But seeing the paradigms here will help us get out quickly, will help us see the door quickly. No one can stand before the obstacle alone, for he would not have reached this far unless his brother walked beside him. That's the veil, y'all. We're still that final thing that's just like, I have to do it all by myself. I'm still doing it all by myself. We're not. None of us are.
No.
We're none of us are. Thank God. Right? It takes a village, because I get tired sometimes. And I'm tired, so this is the final joining. No one can stand before this obstacle alone, because you're not an alone thing. That isn't possible. We are this community that we're looking for. It's here in this present moment. This is the final joining, the final veil. And she gives this advice. And she goes, I know you're going to be scared. I know you're going to be scared in the future. I do. And I'm going to be there to hold you. We're going to make everything the best thing as possible. And you can be afraid. Just don't share that. Just don't give away the fear. Give it to me. Share it with
Holy Spirit.
me. Instead of frightening your brother. Instead of giving your brother ammunition for her fear. Or the world ammunition or proof or belief or energy that the world is working like it does not work. That's what she has to do. Share consciously what is real. And don't consciously share what isn't real. Now, that mindset, that attitude is one of presence. That you know what you're doing. That you're aware of what you're saying and what's happening kind of like in front of you. That's a level of presence and awareness that is so loving. It makes me want to be around you. Because nothing gets by you, and you're just lovely to be around. You wreak peace. Wherever you go, things just fall over and at your feet. That's the way it is. That's the way it could happen. You know this has happened for you because you've had good days like this. Where everything's gone your way. It's not magical.
Yeah.
It's our natural state
It's our natural
of
inheritance.
being. It's a natural inheritance. So, with that idea, I'll let you go with these 4 obstacles as veils we walk through and learn to not get snagged as we move back into the world and do what is ours to do and create the presence of peace and to help others see the obstacles around us, because others helped me see it. And I'm here offering the presence of peace, letting you know that some obstacles can be overcome. There's some that can be overcome.
Yeah.
You know?
For
But
sure.
I'm a Reverend Glen Ganaway, your favorite anarchist preacher, and I'm here with the love of my life, the Reverend Yolanda, and this is the Mighty Companions. We are so glad, so grateful for your practice. It makes my life better. So, and with that, we'll turn it back
the mic.
into the capable hands of Miss Sina.
Thank you so much, everybody, for joining
Stick around.
us. Yay, we're going to have a
Stick
great
around.
night together. Yay.